Okay, in this video we are saving to buy a car, and we're depositing this amount of money at the end of each month for 3 years into a savings account, right? And this is annual percentage rate, 1.92%. So it is compounded monthly. But that doesn't mean they give you the 1.92% of whatever you have in there every month. It means that they take this number, divide it by 12, and give you that interest rate. So the first question is, what is the monthly interest rate R as a decimal? So what we've got to do is take the annual interest rate, the APR, 0.0192, and divide that by 12. And so that's the monthly interest rate as a decimal, 0.0016. Now, what's that as a percentage, just for fun? So change decimal to percent, move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. It's 0.16%. So it's about 0.16% is what you're getting each month on your money, right, in the account. Okay, so that's R, 0.0016. What is how many monthly deposits will you have made over the 3 years? So in other words, how many months are there in 3 years? So you just go 3 times 12, 36 months in 3 years. So T is 36, right? Next up, what monthly deposit is required where am I at? Wrong question. Sorry. Next question is, find the future value for this savings arrangement. Round your answer to the nearest cent. So this is the amount we're putting into the account. And just as if there was the first thing I want you all to figure out is press pause on the video now and just do this. Imagine there was no interest at all, and you're depositing this at the end of each month for 3 years. How much would be in the account if you just put in that cash? In other words, if you were just putting cash into a piggy bank for 3 years, how much cash would you have at the end of the 3 years? Go ahead, press pause and try. Okay, so if there was no interest at all, you would put in 125 after the first month and then 125 after the second month. So after 2 months, you'd have $250 in your piggy bank. And then after 3 months, you'd have $375. And after 4 months, you would have $500 and so on. But there's 36 months. So you go 125 times 36. And that's 4,500. So if there's no interest at all, you would have 4,500 in there, right? And just intuitively, like if you put $100 into a piggy bank for 36 months, that's 3,600, right? So we can see the kind of range we're looking for. So when we go to the formula and do our calculations, we shouldn't be getting like $100,000 or, $10. Like answers like that are absolutely crazy. They don't make any sense. Your answer should be somewhere around 45,000. In fact, it should be a little bit more because you're earning interest. It's got to be better than sticking it into a piggy bank. That's sticking it into a piggy bank. It's got to be more than that. So maybe it's around $5,000 or something like that, right? But it's definitely not $10 or 100,000 or some crazy number, okay? Okay, so now we'll go to the calculation. So looking at your formula sheet, you want to find the balance after T deposits. It's deposit times 1 plus R to the power T minus 1 over R. So we've got our R, that's our 0.0016. We've got our T, that's 36. And we've got our deposit amount, which was $125. So using the formula, it's deposit 125 times 1 plus R, and I'll just do 1.0016 to the power of, you can do this a to the power of b if you're using a Desmos calculator, to the power of T, which is 36 deposits, then subtract 1. Make sure not to subtract 1 from the 36, by the way, in the exponent area. But yeah, so it'll be that, subtract 1, okay? And then you take that and divide that divide that by R, which is 0.0016. Okay, and so what we should get is 4628.31, so on. Let's see what the rounding is being asked for. Round your answer to the nearest cent. So round that to the nearest cent. Press pause if you need time to do that. So you should get 4628 point, and it's 315. Look at that, 315. So to the nearest cent, you got to round up. So 0.32. Okay. Yeah. So that is what is in the account after 3 years. How else could we calculate this? I'll just go over some other calculations. I mean, you could have done, the interest rate was 1 point, okay, was that? So if you wanted, the other way of doing this was to just do it all at once. So in a separate parentheses, you go 1 plus, and then 0.0192 over 12, and then put that to the power of 36, and then on the bottom you can do on the bottom you could do 0.0192 over 12 and put that to the power of 36. Sorry, yeah, on what I did in the bottom is I put an exponent where there shouldn't have been one. So the bottom is just R, so it's 0.0192 over 12, and that would give you the same answer, 4628.32 when you round up, right? So that would be doing it all at once and doing dividing the interest rate all at once. Okay, so so that's the future value. So we got the future value, it's this number here. And now we need to know how much total interest will you have earned over the 3 years. Round your answer to the nearest cent. So press pause and try that yourself, and then I'll do it. So to this question, how much total interest will you have earned over the 3 years? There's a little, I guess it's a tiny bit tricky, because we do actually have to think about what we were talking about earlier, which is that if you just put the money in a piggy bank, you'd have $4,500 in there after 3 years, right? So, but with that tiny interest rate, which, right, by the way, we only have a tiny interest rate, and it's only for 3 years, so don't expect a whole lot of interest. Just a heads up on that. But basically, we would take this is how much we would have. But again, if we just put in a piggy bank, in other words, earn 0 interest, we would only have 4,500. So the difference is $128. So that's the only amount. That's the interest we earned. It's very small. It's only a little over $100, right? 128.32 is the answer there, right?